If you're into tanks, then you probably know that the M4 Sherman was the second tank to have a gun stabilizer, with the M3 Lee being the first. The advantages of having a stabilized gun are obvious. So why is it that the Sherman stabilizer, also known as the Westinghouse stabilizer, did not make an appearance on its replacement, the M26 Pershing? Furthermore, why did stabilizers not appear on US tanks again until the 1970s, with the M60 AOS? This was something that piqued my interest for a while, and I believe that I have finally found the answer. There are a lot of theories as to why the M4 stabilizer disappeared, so I'll be going down them one by one before I explain what I believe to be the reason. The first theory is that the stabilizer was ineffective, so they dropped it altogether. The Sherman stabilizer actually worked quite well, allowing the M4 to engage targets over a kilometer away while moving at 24 kilometers per hour. The main issue was that for a good chunk of time, crews were not properly trained on how to maintain the stabilizer. Eventually, this issue was identified and fixed with proper training. The stabilizer allowed the M4 not only to engage targets while on the move in some cases, but also increased the chances that the M4 got the first shot off while coming to a halt. The effectiveness of the Westinghouse stabilizer also inspired nations such as Britain, Russia, and Japan to pursue their own gyroscopic stabilizers. The second theory is that the stabilizer was deemed too expensive to continue using. The Westinghouse gyrostabilizer was actually surprisingly cheap, costing less than $1,000. Adjusted for inflation, that's a little more than $14,000 in today's money. The stabilizer was relatively simple and required only small amounts of strategic resources, so it could be easily mass-produced, and was not in danger of being discontinued due to shortages. The third theory is that they had no time to develop a gyrostabilizer for the larger 90mm guns that were now the mainstay for US tank design. This is also incorrect. Proposals for mounting 90mm guns in medium tanks go back as far as 1942, and the M26 Pershing spent more than enough time in development hell for a 90mm stabilizer to be developed for it. Not to mention that the basic gyroscopic unit was the same between gun sizes, whether 37mm, 75mm, or 76mm. The only changes were to the hydraulics themselves, so that they could accommodate the increased weight between guns. So what actually happened? The truth is that a stabilizer was developed and tested for the 90mm gun. The stabilizer was tested on T-25 Pilot No. 1 from July 14, 1944 to December 9th of the same year. The results were that the 90mm stabilizer worked just as well as all the others, which is unsurprising given that the gyroscopes were the same. So why didn't they use it? Thankfully, the report on the 90mm stabilizer spells it all out. While the gyrostabilizer did work, it was only a vertical stabilizer. Experimentation had begun on dual-axis stabilizers, and it was felt that further development/use of the single-axis stabilizer should be halted in favor of them. This approach of wait for the technology to get better continued even after the practical introduction of dual-axis stabilizers. At this stage, the US decided that they wanted stabilizers to have things like integrated ballistic computers and automatic super elevation. Of course, that technology wasn't really practical until the late stages of the Cold War. And that's pretty much all there is to say about the subject. I plan on making more historical videos like this in the future, so hopefully you enjoyed it and learned something. As always, thanks for watching.